November 14th, 1917. Ypres Salient, Sector J. The mud has finally frozen. I didn't think it could. For 3 weeks it has been a living thing, a hungry black paste that swallows boots and rifles and men. But tonight the temperature dropped sharp enough to crack stone. Now the ground is hard, jagged ridges of ice that cut through the knees of your trousers when you crawl. It doesn't smell like rot anymore. The frost has locked the stink of the dead bodies under the earth, so the air just tastes metallic now, like sucking on a rusty penny. It's cleaner, but it burns the back of your throat. My feet are numb blocks of wood inside my boots. I haven't felt my toes since Tuesday. I tried to wiggle them just now, staring at the candle flame flickering in the draft of the dugout, but there was no sensation, just a dull, distant ache where the foot meets the ankle. Lieutenant Graves says we'll be relieved in 2 days. He's a liar, or a fool. I don't know which is worse anymore. We had a gas alert at 4 o'clock this morning. It wasn't the roaring bombardment, the coal boxes that shake the earth so hard your teeth rattle in your skull. It was the quiet stuff, the insidious stuff. I was dozing against the sandbags, slipping into that half-sleep where you dream about simple things, hot tea, a clean bed, the silence of a Sunday morning in Derbyshire, when I heard the foot of the canisters landing. It sounds like champagne corks popping at a party you weren't invited to. I didn't scream. You don't scream when you hear that. You stop breathing. My hand found the satchel on my chest before my eyes were even open. The box respirator. That rubber coffin. You have 6 seconds. That's what the drill sergeant screamed at us back in Blighty. 6 seconds, or you drown on dry land. I had mine on in 4. The rubber suctioned tight against my jaw, the clip pinching my nose shut, the taste of chemical rubber filling my mouth. Next to me was the new boy, Miller. He came up with the draft 2 days ago. Clean uniform. Cheeks that still had color in them. He hasn't learned the rhythm of the trench yet. He hasn't learned that silence is more dangerous than noise. I looked over at him through the foggy, yellowing lenses of my mask. He was fumbling. His fingers were shaking so violently he couldn't get the straps over his head. His eyes were wide, white saucers in the gloom, staring at me, begging. I didn't move. I couldn't. I just sat there, breathing my own stale air, watching him fight the canvas bag. You become an animal in the mask, a pig with a snout. You lose your humanity the moment the clip goes on. I watched him claw at his face, the panic rising in him like water. The gas was drifting down from the parados now, a low, heavy cloud. It looked like morning mist, innocent and pale, hugging the floor of the trench where the rats scurried. He finally got it on. He clamped the mask to his face just as the yellow wisps curled around his boots. We sat like that for 3 hours. 3 hours of listening to your own heart hammer against your ribs. 3 hours of sweat pooling in the chin cup of the mask, itching and sliding. But you can't wipe it away. You just sit. You wait. You listen to the muffled thumps of shells falling miles away, wondering if the cloud is seeping through the filters. When the all-clear sounded, the sun was trying to break through the gray ceiling of the sky. I peeled the mask off. My face was raw where the rubber had dug in, and the air felt painfully cold against my sweat-soaked skin. I took a deep breath. It still smelled faintly of garlic and horseradish, mustard gas, the heavy stuff. Miller took his mask off and smiled. a genuine, relieved smile. He looked at me, his hair plastered to his forehead, and laughed, a jagged, nervous sound. "Thought I was a goner, Smith," he said. His voice was raspy. "Close shave, eh?" I didn't smile back. I was looking at his collar. There was a fine yellow dust on the wool of his tunic right near the neck. He must have rubbed against the trench wall when he was thrashing about. He saw me looking and brushed it off casually like it was breadcrumbs. "I'm starving," he said. "Smells like someone's cooking onions. Reminds me of Sunday dinner." My stomach turned over, cold lead in my gut. He couldn't smell the garlic because of the residual gas. He thought it was onions. He thought it was food. He took a deep breath, filling his lungs with the air that still hung heavy in the bottom of the dugout. "Don't," I whispered. But I didn't say it loud enough. I didn't reach out. I just cleaned the condensation off my eyepieces. That was 6 hours ago. He's lying on the bunk opposite me now. The dry drowning has started. It begins with a cough, just a tickle at first. He thought he had a cold. Then his eyes started to water. Then the blisters began to rise on his neck where that yellow dust had touched him. Great, fluid-filled bubbles the size of coins, turning his skin an angry, violent violet. But it's the sound that breaks you. He's breathing, but it sounds like a kettle boiling, a wet, bubbling rasp. The gas burns the lining of the lungs, you see. It strips them raw. Then the body tries to heal it by flooding the lungs with fluid. He is drowning in his own blood and plasma, lying right there on a dry wool blanket. He's gripping the edge of the cot. His knuckles are white. Every breath is a battle. He looks at me, and the color is gone from his cheeks. His skin is turned a grayish blue. He wants me to do something. He wants me to get the medic. But the medic has been and gone. He gave him some morphine and walked away. There's nothing to do. We just have to wait for the fluid to rise high enough to stop the air. I'm sitting here, writing this by the candle, eating his ration of bully beef because he can't swallow. It tastes like candle wax and salt. I can hear the fluid rattling in his chest. I should feel sad. I should be holding his hand. He's only 18. He has a girl back in Leeds. He showed me her picture yesterday. She has ringlets in her hair. But I don't feel sad. I feel annoyed. I feel annoyed that he's making so much noise. I feel annoyed that he's going to die slowly and keep me awake. And deeper down, in the dark part of me that belongs to this war now, I feel a sick, warm little spark of satisfaction. Because it's him on that bunk, and not me. I checked my mask. My mask was tight. I was fast. He just called out for his mother. It wasn't a word, really. Just a wet, bubbling sound that sounded like, "Ma!" I blew the candle out. I'm sitting in the dark now. The rats are coming out. I can hear their claws scratching on the duckboards. They know. They can hear the rattle in his chest, too. They're just waiting for the noise to stop. I think I'll take his boots when it's over. They're newer than mine. The leather is still waterproof. He won't need them where he's going, and my feet are so very cold.